Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is February 27th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery with the Doppler radars overlaid. We're started here on yesterday morning, scrolling through all that shower activity, Puget Sound convergence zone ongoing during the day yesterday, thunderstorms, a lot of snow pellet showers across the Willamette Valley up through the Puget Sound. You can see the convergence zone that finally set up across the Central Sound, strong northerly wind shift behind this little complex there as we went through the afternoon, did some tree damage near SeaTac, and then as we went through the nighttime hours, you can see that persistent convergence zone there across southern Whidbey Island in towards Everett. Dropped a few inches of snowfall out there. Some high resolution models. We're doing pretty good with that feature. Then we wrap things up as we scroll through the very early morning hours. And now we're on into today. And you can see the next storm system already spreading its clouds across the region. Very powerful storm system incoming here again for the Pacific Northwest. And we're going to remain very active as we go through the upcoming weekend as well. So taking a look here, look at this. This was out over the Puget Sound. Gustnadoes were forming on the gust front, advancing down the Puget Sound with the northerlies. You can see the snow pellet shower behind it. You can see secondary development of a gustnado here. I'm going to release video on this probably at some point today or tomorrow, but there was a boat that came down here as well, and I was hoping this person would contact me, so maybe they're still out there. If you're watching this video, give me an email. You can see the boat here. We came pretty close to some of these gustnadoes moving down the Puget Sound. Probably saw 5 or 6 of these things, and one of them tried chasing them down the sound at about 10 minutes later here. So very interesting weather out there. This is the first time I had ever seen gustnadoes like this out over the Puget Sound. And if we look a couple days ago at the European model, you can see it did tease out that information about that Puget Sound convergence zone, dropping measurable snowfall there across the South Whidbey Island towards Everett there. So pretty good job there. And some of the high resolution models didn't do too bad as well. Now looking at that north wind with that complex here in the Puget Sound convergence zone that moved down across the region, look at that 37 miles per hour out of the north. That is not the dominant wind direction, so that can cause some tree damage, and indeed it did. I saw some branches flying off of trees out there, and it can act like a much stronger gust, 50 plus miles per hour, because the trees are used to those southwest winds and those south winds. But when it comes from the north, it can really reverse things up and cause that tree damage. Now taking a look this morning, look at Boeing Field 28. A lot of areas across the Puget Sound were below freezing here. And the good news is for the next couple of days, we're probably not dropping below freezing, but we'll watch that potential as we go on into the weekend again. Looks like the Willamette Valley stayed mostly above freezing also, but you can see the cooler temperatures across the mountainous areas and places off east. Now, this is what is up next. Check out all that cold air spilling off across the Gulf of Alaska here. Powerful frontal system will be driving down across Pacific Northwest. Again, some huge mountain snows are incoming, some gusty winds, and we got thunderstorm potential on Thursday and Friday. And we're going to set up a cold upper level low right off the coastline here as we go through this weekend for some lower elevation snowfall potential as well. Taking a look at the winter storm warning, does now include all the Washington Cascades. This is recently upgraded. The Olympic Mountains, we got hydrologic outlooks out here for some heavy rain as well. And the Oregon Cascades, winter storm warnings, winter storm watches up the coastal areas. And some of these advisories and high wind watches and warnings are probably going to be coming out here over the next day or so. Now look at the winter storm watch. If you're going down I-5 southbound on Wednesday through Thursday, Siskiyou Summit, that's 4,300 feet. You're going to be well above the snow level there. Going to be some pretty treacherous travel conditions, and across the Oregon Cascades as well, and eastern Oregon with some big time winds. And I'll show you that here starting now. Peak wind gusts. Look at this. Some of this crosswind across I-90 and Highway 2. Look at Wilbur gusting to 60. I-84. You're going to be subject to the crosswind as well. If you're driving a high profile vehicle, hopefully you are aware of this. If you know somebody that does, let them know. Look at Walla Walla, 50 miles per hour also. So that's going to be Wednesday and Thursday. Now let's take a look at why that is. This is the upper levels of the atmosphere. Here's that polar lobe that brought us all our crazy weather yesterday, continues its trek east, and then next one already dropping into place. Strong frontal system as we go through the day Wednesday. And look at this tropospheric polar vortex just opening up here over the Northeast Pacific. And this is really going to take residence here right off the coastline as we go towards this weekend. Thunderstorm potential, even some lower elevation snowfall could be happening. And of course, big mountain snows. So this is looking at the European as of last night. This is 850 millibars, 5,000 feet. There's that Arctic air we were just dealing with, and some of that seeped out and all the way in through this morning. But then that'll be replaced a lot here with a strong frontal system driving into the area. But look at that cold air spilling out over the Gulf of Alaska. This is going to come rushing in here. especially as we go on in through Wednesday night into Thursday, and just more big mountain snow. And as we scroll towards this weekend, check it out. More Arctic air tries to sag across British Columbia. How far will that advance? We're going to get some offshore flow. We're going to get a surface low pressure strong enough to bring some offshore winds and then bring some of that moisture back up over the top of it. All good questions. We'll be trying to answer that as we go through the next few days. Some pretty chilly air there across BC again, spilling out over the continent right back into the Pacific Northwest. Some big time mountain snows, another virtual guarantee. Now, first things first, let's take a look at that frontal system. So there's the parent low across the Gulf of Alaska, right off the South Alaska coast. And this is the area of development here along that frontal system. Look at this kind of really get ramped up here. And look at this 983 millibar low as we go through tomorrow afternoon. Another strong gradient here and probably some pretty gusty winds for much of the area. We'll look at those speeds here in a moment. And then you can kind of see this low pressure system just going to take up residence here right off the coastline. How strong will that be? You know, what kind of low and snow potential will we have? Again, we'll try to answer that over the next couple of days. Now, here's Alaska. There's Washington. I've been showing this graphic for the last few days. A relatively warm Pacific Ocean with Arctic air spilling out over it. The warmer, moist air rises into cold air, condenses into clouds, and of course, you even lift it further as you slam it back into the terrain. Just an epic snowmaking machine here for the Pacific Northwest, and heck, all the way down into California this round too. Now, looking at the timing here. So as we scroll through the day today, this is yesterday afternoon's European model run here. And if we put that into motion, you can see that strong frontal system drive down across the region, not moving really fast either. Big mountain snows. This one's going to go all the way down into California. You see that cold upper level low set up off our coastline here. And yeah, we're going to have lower elevation snowfall potential here as we go towards the end of the week and into the weekend. We'll look at that as we get a little bit closer here. I don't want to get caught up in those details too much. This is no doubt going to be changing back and forth. But look at these big winds incoming. Some of the Puget Sound could be gusting, 45, 50 miles per hour. And the high resolution model shows that as well, all the way up and down the coastline, higher terrain. And watch the North American model here on the left as we scroll off into the day Thursday. Look at some of these winds across Oregon. Probably going to get a high wind warning out of this on the day Thursday as well. That'll probably go up here at some point, probably by tomorrow. But look at the Oregon coast, could be gusting up towards 60 miles per hour also. And don't sleep on some of the Puget Sound there as well on the North American. Got some gust up into the upper 40s towards 50. Those can cause nuisance power outages. And we got some big wave action here as well. You see the next frontal system roll in. Look at this wave action just going to continue all the way on in through this week, in towards this weekend. You guys know the drill. If you go out towards the coastline, do not turn your back on the ocean. Now, Whistler, big snows incoming here. I mean, you're talking about up over a foot and a half in a 24-hour period. Mount Baker, some ridiculous totals showing up in the ensembles here. Up over 30 inches in a 24-hour period. Stevens Pass, another big shot of snow. Snoqualmie, we're going down south to Mount Hood into Crater Lake as well. Here's the 6 to 10-day temperature outlook. There's the 8 to 14-day, and here's the snow water equivalent. We're starting to catch back up here, and we're no doubt going to be catching back up here as we go towards the upcoming weekend here. Hopefully, we're going to get Washington State up towards normal and really get some good snow across British Columbia, Idaho, and Montana as well. Also, just a reminder, avalanche.org, if you're going off in the backcountry, it's going to be rough here over the next few days. And we're probably going to have some high avalanche danger out there at times. So check before you go. And I wanted to show you this one more time here. So yeah, we did have some interesting stuff with the Puget Sound. And again, I will put a video on that. But yeah, actual gustnadoes out over the Puget Sound, if you can believe it. And let's scroll ahead here one more time. I want to do something else really quick here as well. Let's go to the European. We have new data here. So I want to show the 12Z run as well. And just to kind of show you, we're locked in here. So this is the 12Z European. Let's put that into motion. And you can see the big mountain snows are incoming here. Strong low pressure system. Look at that 982 millibar low. It's even lower. So there's going to be some huge winds across the higher terrain of British Columbia. I want to point that out as well. And this is going to be ongoing during the day Wednesday. Look at that pressure gradient all the way down across the Cascades of Washington and Oregon, and that slow-moving frontal system with just the huge amounts of snow. You can see not much has changed from the previous runs, and if we scroll out, you can see that low-pressure system here trying to tease out some lower snow levels here as we go through Friday and Friday night, maybe on into Saturday. We'll see how that develops here over the next few days. As you can see, these little impulses continue to spin around with some very cold air around the Pacific Northwest. So anyway, yeah, Hope you guys are enjoying these videos here. I may go out and try to live stream at some point on the day tomorrow, but I'm probably going to try to work on that video and get that gustnado video out for you guys as well. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Be prepared for the next frontal system rolling in here. We'll do this again by the latest tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.